Good morning, everybody. I'm sitting here, I'm waving, and I'm like not even on camera.
We appreciate the wave. Good morning.
Yeah.
And
How
good
is
afternoon.
everybody this morning? How are you this morning, sweetheart?
I'm good. Yeah.
Good. Good weekend?
Busy weekend. Yeah. Busy
Busy.
morning.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You were all over the place with that DC. Whoa. I haven't even caught up with it. So aside from Loki's show this morning, I haven't caught up with it. Oh, Captain Trek was first this morning. Good morning, Cap. See, who's all we got hanging out with us this morning so far?
We've got Captain Trek, Darth Haster, Dave Bob. Good morning, sir. Mark the Infinitely Tired. Psychodwarf 9 is working and lurking.
Ah, cool.
Who else have we got, sweetheart?
Let's see. Josh, Project Storytime. Colin P. Smith. Darth Monkey O'Wrath. Let's see. I could get my thing to scroll. Cobalt and Pudgy are here. Good morning, guys. Keely Chow, Roll Tide, my friend, except I'm supposed to say hook 'em horns since I'm from Texas. Let's see. Oh, the chat jumped on me. Dang it. Hate it when that happens. Mary's Game Room. Hey, girl, what's up? How you doing?
We've got
Nina Green is here. Good morning,
Yeah.
Nina.
Jedi Bill, Positive Candor. Hi, guys.
Hello, guys. It's good to see everybody. It's Monday. Darth Monkey O'Wrath. But I hope things are good with the family, Samantha Joe. They are. Yes, I was missing on Friday. I was taking care of my mom. She had to have some surgery done to remove a carcinoma on her ear. So far, so good. She's recovering quite well at home. So everything is kind of back to normal. Just got to keep an eye on the wound and make sure it's healing properly. So far, so good.
That's
everybody,
great news.
Yeah. Everybody, keep her in your prayers. She might have to have a little bit of plastic surgery done, but like you were teasing me with purple, I just said, screw it. Just get a gauge, Mom. You're 75. Go for it. Live a little.
I'm guessing she wasn't amused by that.
Now, imagine what she would have said if I tried to talk her into a tattoo. That would have gone horribly wrong. Good morning, James Andrew. How are you?
Hey there.
Good to see you.
And Jeff B. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff B. Good morning. Yeah, Mom is doing okay. So just continue to keep your fingers crossed. Yeah,
Awesome.
But she's doing much better. So thank you guys. Hey, Dave Bob. Mwah. How you doing, Boss Man?
Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you, Pudgy.
Thank you, Pudgy. Honey's so Pudgy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's going to be feeling just fine. Just before we know it, I know my mom. She's not sitting still. Not like she's supposed to be. That's things that are just never going to happen. So that's fine. Hey, she's 75. She's a widow. Party on, Mom.
You do you. Go for it.
You do you. And it's a couple of ladies sitting around watching, the Hallmark Channel. It's like, oh, God. Whatever. Just kill me now.
You said they were watching, was it NASCAR?
Yeah, they were watching NASCAR. Yeah, yesterday afternoon. Yeah. Just sitting around watching NASCAR. Okay. And bitching about Kyle Busch, probably. God only knows with those two. You leave them alone for too long and stuff will go off the rails.
Oh, so that's what it comes from.
Yeah, a little bit. Squirrel. What is this with initials S and D? What are we doing? What are you up to, Project Storytime? Who knows? So, do we want to get into the meat of this stuff? The reason we're all here this morning is to talk about Vikings, Trial and Raid, which I realized I spelled wrong in the very beginning.
Don't feel bad. I did the exact same thing when I was trying to tweet it out. I was like, no, not trial. Stupid.
Trial.
Also correct got me. It's like, no.
Oh, YOLO. Yeah. Oh my God. It's like, what did we do? Oh, Darth Monkey Arath is keeping score. One squirrel, one snort. Oh, Pudgy's handing out hot dogs this morning. Awesome. He's got his cart ready and waiting. Nice.
Just to adjust, Josh, we will never know what was on that plate. It's one of the mysteries of life, unfortunately.
Yep. The mystery plate. No one knows. There it is. Okay, Colin.
Yeah, we got distracted. On the DC event, there was a plate on someone's bookshelf in the background, just randomly.
Yeah.
So we were trying to figure out what was on the plate. Why they had a plate on the bookshelf, I don't know. It was
no
just
one
sitting
knows. We don't know why there was a plate. There wasn't anything on it. It was just a plain old plate.
Just a plate.
Okay.
Sitting on a bookshelf on top of books.
As if it knew what it was doing. Darth Monkey Wrath just says, you don't want to know. I might not. You may have a point there. Oh my goodness. So let's see. Which one came first? Trial, which I thought was weird.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Raid would have come first.
Yeah, since a good portion of Trial is actually a raid. Yeah, you'd think that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But we go back to England on a mission to raid once again and get more treasures and more goodies. And Earl Haraldston has sent a spy in his brother Canute. Of course, they panic the hell out of the villagers. Why would they not?
Yes.
Let's see. I got my synopsis out, guys, because
yes, we always have to make notes as we're watching, just so we don't miss stuff. It's like, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Soul Assassin. Good to see you. Raiding and trials. Yep.
Yeah. So they have a run-in with the sheriff and the men first.
Yes.
And then word gets back to the king that they're back.
Yeah.
And he's livid about this. And he's telling his men, well, what are you going to do about it? What do you know about these people? Who are they? Where did they come from?
Yeah. These are the same men that, raided Lindisfarne. Mm-hmm. Of course, Ragnar's Ragnar's name is mentioned. And he gets the Ragnar thing kind of going.
It's kind of funny because even though they've only done one raid already, their kind of reputation has spread.
Yeah.
They've been described as 7 feet tall and warriors that can't be stopped. And it made me smile.
Yeah, it was like, yeah. Oh, Dave Bob, let's go a Viking. You got it. We're going a Viking, Dave Bob. But yeah, King Ayla was just like, Ragnar Lothbrok. I'm like, wow, dude, you have anger issues. How could word have spread that? Well, okay. We don't know how long of a time was between the raid on Lindisfarne and the second coming.
Well, it couldn't have been more than a week because they set out pretty much the next day after they'd returned the first time.
Yes, that's true.
He wanted them going straight away. So, and to get back across the sea back to the coast, they would have known the way to go. They would have been familiar with the currents this time. Yeah. So probably no more than a week. And he does ask, once they land, he said, what day is this?
I like what Dave Bob says. Look at this. A Viking walkabout means death and destruction. Yep.
Pretty much.
You're not wrong, my friend. You are not wrong. So what did we mention the town that they went to?
We didn't know. No.
Okay.
So the town that they go to this time to sack, it's Hexham.
Hexham, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so it's portrayed as being kind of like a coastal town, but in reality, Hexton is actually 27 miles inland.
Well, we're going for a walk. Time for the Shoe Leather Express, people. Strap in. It's going to take a while. Okay.
So they power walked to Hexton. Can
you see? Let's go, Vikings. Power walking. Oh my God. Sorry, that was a harsh moment. Anyway. Squirrel. We're up to 2 squirrels now. So they do their thing essentially and attack the village. There was a scene in the church with Floki.
Yeah, shall we just kind of fill in why they decided to pick that particular day? Because Rollo says to him, "What day is it?" And they're like, "Well, why does it matter?" He said, "You'll see." And then they wait for the church bells to ring because having spoken to the priest, he's got a background on Christianity, so he knows that pretty much everyone is going to be in that one area because it's Sunday.
Yep. And they'll know that they'll all be gathered in the church listening to the holy word, like good little Christians. But that leads us to that scene with Floki.
Oh my god.
On the altar. Oh my god. He sips the wine and spits it out, and it's like... And I'm like, oh yeah! Then Floki is kind of looking at all the people like, okay, just for that, I'm gonna spit more at you, and they freaking lose it. Now, how Floki is 7 foot tall, I would never know, but whatever. But that scene in and of itself was just completely epic. I think that was one of Floki's best scenes.
It was
so far in the series.
It also shows how far Ragnar's come because he actually speaks to the priest in Anglo-Saxon and tells him to tell the people, if you don't resist, they won't get hurt.
And they don't seem to. They just start plundering. Then we have kind of a cutaway as Largatha's kind of going through the town looking for other stuff. She comes, if I remember it correctly, because it's been about a day since I've watched this, guys. Largatha comes upon Canute.
He does, yep.
Ready to rape a Saxon woman.
Yes, Canute is doing what Vikings did, and Largatha tells him to stop. Yes. And Canute's like, no. So they get into a fight, and then Canute turns his attention to Largatha, and she has to deal with him.
Yeah. And of course, she deals with him in true shield maiden fashion. And no more Canute.
Yes. Bye, Canute.
Bye-bye. Nice knowing you. But after all the raping and pillaging and everything else that Vikings allegedly did back then, mostly just the pillaging and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They gathered all the treasures.
They gathered all the things and headed back to the boat, only to find, ta-da, some of the Anglo-Saxon men have shown up.
Yes. So the sheriff has regrouped. He's brought a smallish, group on the beach, and they're blocking the Vikings from getting back to the ship.
And chaos ensues.
Yes. But we do get to see our very first shield wall.
Ah, yeah.
And that was awesome.
If it ever were a drinking game and somebody hollered shield wall, we'd all be crap-faced by at least the end of this episode, because not only does it get hollered by the men, but also a couple of times by Largatha. Which I was like, yes! Girl power! That was my moment. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, yay, girls. Go, girls.
Largatha held her own throughout the entire raid.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, I never had a doubt after she was attacked when Ragnar first went. That was early on I think it was episode 2 or episode 1.
Yeah,
or 2, one of them. Where he left them alone. She took care of business on the property. She was a badass. We established that very early on.
Yes. And they did it by showing us, not by telling us, which is important.
Now, meanwhile, back in Kattegat, Athelstan is looking after the kids and the farm. And Bjorn is not a happy camper about it.
No.
I remember him saying, "It's like I want to make a sacrifice to Thor, and why do for my father's safe return, I will sacrifice you." I'm like, "Oh my, kid's got an axe to grind. All right then."
Yes. Bjorn wants to be the man of the house, so he's not happy that he's now got a babysitter.
Yes. Let's see. And Athelstan was kind of, he's like, "Excuse me, what? You want me to look after who with what now?" Okay. And he does it because, he's developing that deep loyalty to Ragnar.
Yeah.
Because Ragnar's never really treated him shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. I'm reading, guys. Go ahead, babe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bjorn's also, he keeps going off at Athelstan that he wants to go back down to Kattegat to see the parents return. He wants to kind of greet them, and Athelstan's like, "Well, who's going to look after the farm? I can't let you go by yourself." And eventually, Bjorn talks him into going as a group.
Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, finally, okay, we can go into Kattegat. And, eventually, yep, here comes Ragnar and his men with the ship. And, everybody gets off the ship, brings the spoils. And, of course, the Earl Haraldson, wants to know where Canute is. And we don't know where Canute is, but Ragnar does, and tells him, Ragnar tells him that that he's dead, plain and simple. He lies and tells him that instead of Largatha killing Canute, that he did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of course is taken away. And, the Earl is looking for every reason in the world to get rid of Ragnar Lothbrok. So
yes.
This just happens to be like, oh.
Yeah, this is just the perfect scenario for him. He thinks he's got, Ragnar in a position that he can't get out of, basically. There were no witnesses, or so he thinks. So yes, he presses his advantage then and has Ragnar arrested.
Yep. But then we've got Earl Haraldson trying to kind of sway Rollo into compounding the lie, essentially, and fingering Ragnar as the killer.
Yes,
in a public forum.
Yeah, he pretty much he does everything within his power to kind of sway him. He kind of tells him what he wants to hear, that he thinks that Ragnar's taking advantage of him, that things aren't really equal between them, and he even offers him his daughter.
Yeah, and I'm like, who was cute. I've seen her in a couple of other things. She was in The White Queen. She played Cecily, Princess Cecily. I mean, she's not a bad looking actress, Oh, Generalissimo Hefe has popped in.
Oh, hey, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff is here. Oh, the boys are talking. Oh boy, school is going on in the chat while we're out here talking. That's those two, though. There are history majors. So during this call out session, Rollo is called forward to kind of testify and kind of bury the axe in Ragnar's back, which he doesn't do.
Yes.
He confirms Ragnar's story. And then goes on to say that, well, Canute attacked a shield maiden, which is a no-no.
Yes.
So therefore, Ragnar has to go free. So, and that's what they do.
They do, and then they have one heck of a party afterwards.
Yeah, they do. But unfortunately, that doesn't last. And
I did have to laugh. It's just kind of like an observation, but the size of the mugs that these guys were drinking out of, I could have put it over my head. They were like buckets with handles.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what they look like. Holy crap! How much meat do you got? Oh.
It wasn't even the drinking horns there, the drinking horn that they were sipping from, but they had these great big tankards as well.
Yeah, and I'm like, good grief, those I thought were pitchers. I'm like, holy moly. Bye, Psychodwarf 9. Thanks for popping in for a little while. We appreciate the support, babe. Mwah.
Bye.
Be careful
Bye.
out there.
And there is a nice scene between Athelstan and Ragnar where they drink together. So I thought that was really sweet. And Ragnar thanks him for looking after his children.
Yeah. And again, it deepens the level of trust and respect between the two men. You know, that Ragnar would indeed trust Athelstan with his family, with his possessions. Let's see. Largatha is, of course, grateful to Rollo, and Rollo's kind of like, ding.
Yes. I think even Rollo says he didn't do it for Ragnar, he did it for her. And she's like, please don't say that.
Yeah, don't say that shit. That's not cool. I'm married, loser. Just saying. But eventually, let's see, the Earl goes to the seer. I completely forgot about that scene.
Yes, well, that's kind of going on at the same time as this party. So the Earl's seeking advice from the seer. I actually love the seer. I think he's a great character.
Oh, he creeps me out, but he's so awesome. And the actor that's playing the seer, I've seen in other pieces, from English history.
John Kavanagh, yeah,
and he is a
great actor.
Great, yeah, he is pretty great. But he gives me the creeps as the seer in a good way because he's playing that part so well.
I liked how he was lurking in the background as well earlier on in the episode when Rollo was talking to the Earl. So he was just kind of hanging out, being creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, that's not at all menacing. No, that's not foreshadowing. Not at any little bitty bit. No. Let's see.
Yes.
Athelstan is asking, I remember this part, because Ragnar always goes up and sits on a hill. And that's kind of his pondering hill. And Ragnar is basically getting himself ready for a fight. He knows a fight is coming.
Yes.
And this is after the Earl after the Earl visits with the seer.
Yes, we did jump ahead slightly because during the party they were actually attacked by a group of men as well.
Yes.
So that broke up the party pretty quick.
That'll kind of put a kink in the armor there. But unfortunately, we lose one of Ragnar's good friends and good fighters, Eric.
Yeah, poor Eric.
His part was just too short. They could have done so much more with Eric, but I understand why they didn't. So yeah, Athelstan his powers of observation are incredible, and he's just so curious about why Ragnar acts the way he does and why he ponders things the way he does. He's a very good strategist.
He is, yeah. I think even Athelstan begrudgingly at first, but I think it's more genuine now. The respect is growing for him because he realizes he's not some dumb pagan Bruce. He's an intelligent man.
Yeah, he's got the brains to go with the brawn, which I think is kind of nice. So with that, the Earl does seek the advice of the seer, and the seer gives him some not so fabulous news.
Colin says, did we actually find out who the people were that attacked? They were a group sent by the Earl. So they're just not big enough, his little, not particularly big group, but yeah, they're the Earl's men.
Yeah, it was about 8 or 10 men. No big deal. But yeah, to go and murder Ragnar, kind of wipe out his family. And that kind of leads us to Raid.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the one thing that the seer did tell the Earl is that there will be violence coming and that Ragnar is searching for the Earl's death.
Mm-hmm.
So they're both kind of on this collision course now. There's no getting out of it.
Mm-hmm. So we open with Raid opens with Earl Harrelston and his wife blessing the new babies that
Yes.
have been born in Kattegat. And Athelstan and Ragnar have a very interesting conversation about kind of his place, Athelstan's place in society. And Ragnar says something to him very interesting. Is this your world? This is your world now.
Mm-hmm.
And why have you never wanted to escape? And Athelstan's, I think, less and less about escaping now. As part of that, which I thought was a beautiful, again, another beautiful exchange of this growing relationship between these two interesting men.
Yes, I think because Ragnar's never treated him, as property, which he technically is. I think, and the trust that he showed in him, definitely that's made a huge impact on Athelstan.
Yeah.
And to just be around the family, I think, as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And experience the Viking way of life for Athelstan.
Even though he's not particularly getting on very well with Bjorn, he is getting on well with the daughter instead.
Yeah. Well, Gita.
Gita actually likes him, so she's kind to him.
I think Gita is the kind soul. She's very sweet. But still, there's I could see a little tough side in her because of her mother. Because she has no qualms about taking a weapon from her mother when she's handed to it, which we'll get to in just a second. I was like, all right, girl, she doesn't even look twice.
No.
So, Ragnar goes hunting. Village life goes on as normal. This is out of Kattegat. This is in the settlement that's Ragnar Lothbrok's and Largatha's. Only to be set upon by some of more of Earl Haraldstan's men.
That's a mouthful of a name, isn't it? Yeah.
Golly. And they pretty much set about murdering everybody and attacking everybody in the village, in that little side village, and burning everything to the ground that was Ragnar's. Athelstan, Gita, and Bjorn flee in a boat. They hide. While Ragnar is headed back to defend his property.
Yes. Yeah.
And is hurt pretty badly in the process.
He is. Yeah, he gets shot with an arrow, which he has to kind of break off just so he can keep going.
Yeah, that scene was rough. He's Ragnar Lothbrok, and he just looks at that little weasel of a guy that's always following the Earl around. The Earl's little yes man, his consigliere. And he just looks at him and just snaps the back of it off. And I'm like, God damn! Huh? That's brutal. That's brutal. That is savage right there. Holy smokes. But a couple of men end up chasing him through the wilderness, as it were, leading to a cliff that's overlooking the fjord where Ragnar's family is, in Athelstan. And then jumps off the cliff.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Into the water. And which, leads everybody to, flip out because, and they get him into the boat and they head for Floki's home.
Yeah, he hits the water and just sinks. So
pretty much
it's up to Athelstan to dive in and go and get him.
Yeah, and I'm like, that water is pretty dark. Okay. Off he goes. But that is a if you watch Bjorn during that moment, he turns into that little boy who's scared, who's afraid to lose his dad. And suddenly Athelstan is coming to the rescue of his father. So it's like you can see a little bit of a change in Bjorn and his approach to Athelstan, which I thought was very sweet.
Yes.
But they managed to get Ragnar to Floki's. Of all places, Floki's.
And I've got to ask, because there is this is where Helga turns up as well. So I'm guessing, depending on when you saw it aired, certain scenes got cut.
Yeah.
I thought that was the case.
It's like, oh, wait a second.
Look at you.
Helga. How about that? Hey, girl. How's it going? And the one I've seen is the one where she's not exposed. Let's put it that way. I do know that I've seen the other one too.
Well, I'm watching it on Prime, so it's the uncut version. But
you've got the uncut. Okay.
I just thought it was funny because I knew for a fact that would have been censored.
Oh yeah, well it was on the History Channel.
Yeah.
I mean, you barely even see side boob. I mean, it's hard enough to even spot, the N-word, nipple. There, I said it.
You can say it, but apparently Darth Monkey can't type it. So
yeah, I was gonna say, is Darth Monkey still having trouble typing it? That always seems really weird. Colin P. Smith says, shot in the back by the Earl's man. Such Viking courage. No shit. For real. Well, look who joined us today. The Blind Mage. Hey, girl. How you doing?
Honey.
Good to see ya. I know you're blind, but, I can see you. Nobody get offended. Let's see. So, Ragnar gets a visit from Thorsten, who is a character I really grew to like a lot. Thorsten was just funny and exciting and kind of a little bit of fodder for Floki, which I enjoyed. Those two are like best mates, that are just goofing off in a pub. But also he's a hell of a fighter. And we'll see that as the show progresses rather.
Yeah, Thorsten makes a great character. So while they're getting Ragnar back to Floki's, the Earl is trying to kind of regroup, and he's trying to make his position stronger. So he's still using his daughter as like a bargaining chip, but now he's betrothed her to somebody else.
Which, once we see him, feel sorry for the poor gal.
She's not particularly happy, and neither is Siggy.
No, Siggy is like flaming pissed. Oh, Lori just got us an update. Market is up. Netflix is down 8 and change. Keep up the fight. You know it, girl. Oh my gosh. That's good to know.
That's good news. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Laura. Awesome. That's an intentional squirrel, because I had to put that out there. So intentional squirrel sighting. So yeah, he's a Swede, if I remember correctly.
Yes, but he's also closely related to the king. So
that's right.
He has a high social standing.
Right. And we have not met the king yet.
We haven't, no. But 3 isn't happy, and Siggy's not happy.
She's not happy. Oh, jeez.
And Haraldson doesn't care.
Nope. He shit's given 0. Colin P. Smith just nibble.
There we go.
Oh my god. part of Tyrion's dowry ends up being that boat that Floki built, and I'm like, wait, what? Oh, that's how Earls roll. They just confiscate stuff from people they're pissed at.
Yep.
So, because that was a mighty fine boat that Floki built.
That was a beautiful boat. Yep. So he would have taken the boat, the land that was owned by Ragnar. Even though everything on it has been probably burnt to the ground, the land itself is still very valuable.
Yes.
All the possessions.
What I thought was stupid, though, was them killing all the livestock.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of ridiculous because if, being an earl, you would want to keep that because it's wealth. It speaks to wealth.
I just kind of guess maybe they were going to use it for the wedding. And that's where it went. At least I hope that's where it went. It went to the feast. But they don't really kind of touch on it.
Yeah, they don't really talk about it. Because that was the big... we go from those scenes to the wedding feast, essentially, and the wedding party. And I even said to Generalissimo Hefe, we were watching it, and I was like, God damn, the Vikings could party. Jeez Louise, they didn't mess around. I was like, yeah. And again, drinking out of those tankards that are as big as your head. I'm like, holy hell. I would have been blotto.
You need one of those for your coffee.
Right? Oh, this morning I did. It was a Monday, people. It's still Monday, and I'm still hating it. Floki, and they're all... I love this scene, too, where they're all sitting around the fire at Floki's house. And Athelstan is asking essentially about the gods. And they tell him about Valhalla and how things kind of work in Viking heaven. And he's just like, Athelstan is just completely taken aback. It's like, wow, their belief is just as strong as mine is. In one God. It was nice to hear them telling the story. Same with Helga, because we finally get to hear a little bit more from Helga, even though we've seen a lot of her.
Seen a lot of it, but now we get to actually speak to her. I really like Helga. She's a great character.
She's a wonderful character. Her father, Michael Hurst, is the writer of the show. She's not an actress by trade. She's a yoga instructor. But who cares if she's not an actress? She did a fine job.
Yeah,
in this series.
And she's already
poor Helga.
She plays off Floki really well.
Gustav.
You can tell.
Gustav they both have a really good chemistry. Thank God, because he just seems like a giant goofball. Not even so much Gustav more than Travis. Ragnar. He's booby trapping trailers. You fucking know it. So after this, during the story, Rollo gets a visit from Siggy. Her husband hates him. And he should leave. The Earl is going to make sure that he's attacked and is murdered, etc. When they do get a hold of him and take him prisoner. Yeah. To learn the location of Rollo. Or to learn the location of Ragnar from Rollo. Rollo I don't think he even knew, to be honest. It was just Thorsten who happened to have the sense that God gave based and go to Floki's. But nobody's looking at Thorsten.
No.
So, they're all concerned with Rollo, of course, since he's Ragnar's brother.
Yes, yeah. They automatically jump to the conclusion that because they are so close, that Rollo knows what's gone on, that he had some hand in it. And poor Rollo this time didn't.
Nope. He didn't have anything to do with anything. And he's just getting his face ripped apart. It's like, oh, that's fun. But Siggy does also speak with Thorsten, who ends up wandering a bit. He got a little lost.
Yes, he got lost in the swamps, didn't he?
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're looking a little long in the teeth there, my friend. You okay? All right. But he tells Ragnar about what's happening in Kattegat with Rollo, etc., etc. And Ragnar asks Floki to go back to Kattegat and demand the one-on-one combat with the Earl.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where stuff starts to get real. And that if the Earl refuses, shame will stalk him for the rest of his life, and he'll never be welcomed in Valhalla. Those are the words that Ragnar said. And Floki does, of course, follow through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maud Hurst is her name. I know it was Hurst, but I couldn't, because her sister's also, spoiler alert, her sister's also in the episode. Or not in the episode, in the show.
Yes.
Later on. Who ends up being a hell of a shield maiden. Spoiler alert. Oh, Lady Mist is here. Hello, gorgeous. Good to see you.
Hello, love.
Oh my goodness. But this is where I almost want to roll into the next episode. And be like, ah!
I think these 2 episodes kind of did what episode 2 and 3 did.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5 kind of tacked on to 4. 4 was the stronger episode.
Yes, agreed. 4 was definitely the stronger of the 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Even though a lot happened in 5, it wasn't kind of as action-packed.
No.
It was setting up a lot for episode 6, which
episode
is
6 and 7, yeah.
Yeah, the head-to-head.
Yeah, and that's going to be a heck of a battle, guys. We're going to talk about that on next Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It's like, can you believe it's already a quarter till? It's like, what the hell? Where the hell did that 45 minutes go? Are you guys serious right now? Holy crap. But this is the stuff I love about the series is there's more scene cuts where you see what's going on with Viking families, what's going on with Ragnar's family, and how they start to grow and change and adapt to having basically a Saxon man as part of their household.
Yes.
And learn to really love and respect Athelstan, who's just there's times where you look at the actor and there's just such innocence on his face. Not so much disbelief, just the innocence and the curiosity that he wants to know about these people.
Yeah, he genuinely does want, I think it's the same kind of interest that he sees in Ragnar. Where Ragnar's asking about Christianity and he wants background on, England and the politics that go on there. So they can kind of, they feed off each other, I think. And I think
definitely
Lagerford definitely is warmed up to him as well, because as they're fleeing with the children, she gives him a weapon and tells him to stay strong.
And he kind of looks at it like, oh my God, what the hell did she just hand me? What are they going to want me to do? Like, this is an axe. I'm a Christian. I'm a priest. I have no idea what's going. And I can always hear Floki in the background. Priest. Creepy little son of a bitch. That's why we love Floki. He is not Athelstan's number 1 fan.
Not by a long shot, no.
No, and I won't spoil it, but yeah, he really doesn't like Athelstan. But at the same time, Athelstan never throws any hate at Loki or at Floki.
Yes,
which I think is great. He's just, I think Floki might be more of a curiosity to him than anybody else in the village.
Yes, I think it's at some points he doesn't really pick up on the hatred either. It just kind of flies over his head.
No, it's just like, hey, Jesse, have we snapped yet? Nope. That'll probably be on Wednesday.
Oh gosh, yes.
Wednesday is going to be fun. So, anything else you wanted to bring up about these couple of episodes, babe?
No, I think as the series has progressed, there hasn't really been a bad episode. A couple of them, as we said, have been they're leading up to the episode coming next, but you can still watch them and enjoy them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really, there's no filler episodes. It's just, there's a lot of kind of,
it's a lot of story.
There's a lot of story and there's a lot of side elements going on. So we've got the bit with Haraldson and him trying to strengthen his position.
Mhm.
The relationships coming between Athelson and the family, and then
Yeah.
Rollo and his position.
Yeah, because he wants to be obviously in the further upper echelon of the village.
Yes.
But that's just not working out. He's always, that dark cloud always kind of hangs over his head of he's Rollo's. Rollo is Ragnar's brother.
Yes.
And that's the only way he's thought of. Even though in real life Rollo was a different character, who was a fighter, but later during and this is a show we might cover too, you guys, The Last Kingdom.
Yes, I'd like to cover The Last Kingdom.
Yeah, it was good.
It's also a great TV, great show.
It's a fun follow-up because Jeff was watching Last Kingdom. At the time, I started watching Vikings. And I caught a couple of the later episodes and I was like, oh, shit. All right, let me finish up Vikings. I'm going to start watching Last Kingdom. And it was worth it. It was a good follow-up. And created a lot more clarity about the actual history, because I think even King Aela wasn't king during this time that we're talking about with Ragnar Lothbrok. But I'm not sure. Colin, you're going to need to help us out with that one. Generally, no Hefe. It's just one little nugget that's stuck. It's like, okay. Okay, Darth Monkey.
Colin says, priest shows how little the Vikings understand Christianity. Athelstan is a monk rather than an actual priest, but the Norse don't have any equivalents. That's true.
That's true.
Especially in Floki's mind, he just equates them all as being the same thing and what they represent.
And even Jesse follows up. Floki hated the Christian religion. I mean, really hated it. He felt it was an insult. Yeah, he did. Floki couldn't stand it. Colin has not seen Last Kingdom. This is another one I need to add to my ever-growing list. Yeah.
Well,
but you got a while, though.
Yeah, Colin, I haven't seen it all the way through either, so it's one I'd have to watch from the beginning again as well.
Oh, this is funny. There's what Jesse says. Critics said Vikings was a poor man's Game of Thrones. I was like, no, it's better in story and in style. Yeah. I have to agree, but and only going on what everybody had, always talked about with Game of Thrones, I watched one episode and was like, nope. And I kind of followed it through, kind of their own fandom and what was going on in pop culture with it. Otherwise, I didn't watch much maybe grand total 2 episodes. Because it would be on or somebody would be talking about it. I got to say, it's better than Game of Thrones for me. Anyway, it held my interest a hell of a lot longer. I managed to make it through.
And there we go. Yeah, I was going to say, Jeff says King Aela was a mythical figure as far as I know. Okay. Yeah, he's probably kind of an amalgamation of various kings that they had at that time.
Yeah. Because he's king of Northumbria, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and Generalissimo, this would probably be a question for you. Isn't Last Kingdom based on a series by Bernard Cornwell? I do not know that for sure. We'll wait for the answer from across the hall. I don't even know if Jeff is over there.
I know the series, but I'm not sure if the connection's the same. But I do know Bernard Cornwell. Yeah.
Okay.
So what about you? What did you think of the episodes?
I, of course, like them. Once again, as you said, we're following the story. And there actually is story to follow and multiple stories to follow, which makes it all the much more fun to watch. because you get further and further into character development, but also scene development and people development, and insofar as, you know, learning about the Viking culture, especially from a Saxon's point of view. Got an answer from across the hall. It is the author is supposed to be descended from the main character. Aha! Today we learned.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I know of them, but I've never actually read them, so maybe that's one I should add to my list.
Oh, yeah. James Andrew has read the books, so awesome. I'll go back to this comment from Jesse. Is it just me, or is Floki is the best type of Machiavellian genius? Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely lives up to his kind of almost namesake as being a little bit manic, a little bit mischievous, a little bit.
It's that giggle. It's that giggle that gets you, and you're just like, oh, somebody's going to die.
But the one thing I will say about him, he's not afraid to jump into the fight either. You think because he's almost that kind of Weasley sort of character that he would shy away. But no, Floki's right in there.
Oh, no. He's like right in there, heart of the matter. Yeah, right. And his silly little giggles. You can often, in fact, I think I heard him during one of the battles giggling in the background.
Yes.
And laughing hysterically even at the Christian altar when he spit the wine out.
Oh, yeah.
It was so funny.
He was very impressed with the reaction he got, so he did it again.
Yep. It's like, oh, good one. Okay. But yeah, I've even from the very beginning when I first started watching the show and even watching it again, everything holds up. It's still hard to, there's a lot of times I'll have Vikings on when I'm working and end up not working because I'm distracted by the show. Usually it's the other way around. But Vikings holds up. So guys, if you haven't seen it, and I know Lori said in the chat earlier that she hadn't seen it, if you get time, girl, you need to give this show a watch. I think you'll be very impressed with it.
Yes, it's quite an easy watch. It's not one that's particularly taxing, but it does suck you in, as you say.
There's a method to Floki's madness. That's an understatement, I do think. Oh, Soul Assassin is headed out. Have a great day. Enjoy your Monday.
Yep, have a great day.
Thanks for popping in. And we'll thank you at the end anyway. We're fixing to close up shop. Yes. So overall, I would give these episodes 8 out of 10.
Yep, going strong still. There hasn't really been a bad episode, which is unusual, especially for the first season. Yeah.
Usually there's a slog or two that we have to throw in, but the next couple of episodes are going to be slam bang. They're going to be huge. So tune in next Monday when we talk about the next 2 episodes. Hang on, my chat jumped on me and my tab closed. I'm a little pissed.
Mine's a better, and it kicked me out stream. Awesome. Nailed it. But yeah.
So next week we'll be covering Burial of the Dead and A King's Ransom.
Awesome. And then the week after is episode 8 and 9, and then we finish the season.
And we finish the season. Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. See, that's the thing with this show too. This show rolls quickly. It doesn't feel like you just watched 45 minutes to an hour worth of show. It goes by pretty fast in a good way because it's a lot of story. So to the writer, Michael Hurst, thumbs up, boss. You're doing a great job.
He really is. Yeah.
So yay. So that's going to close out that for the week. You have anything else to add, babe?
No. Do you want to give people a hint of what we're doing Wednesday? Because I think Colin said, can we drop a hint as to what we're covering?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, cool.
Wednesday, we are going to go into the world of Cursed, the Netflix series that premiered, a couple weeks ago now, based on Arthurian legend. And holy hell. It was, wow. To say it was painful That's being kind. Now I do have to say, Saucy One just hi, bye. Okay, hey girl, bye girl. Uh,
It's so hot.
the saving grace, and the reason I wanted to watch this is because the gentleman that plays Floki in Vikings, Gustav Skarsgård, plays Merlin
Mm-hmm.
in this series. So we're going to be covering that. It'll be a single show. I watched the whole series with Generalissimo Jefe. Depending on his schedule, he may be our special guest, but holy crap, it was painful.
Yeah, we're not going to do the whole season. We're just going to do we're not doing it episode by episode. We're just going to do an overview of what we thought.
Yeah, so it's going to be a basic review of this hot mess they call Cursed. So, guys, tune in on Wednesday for that. It should be funny. Not to mention, you might get a Valkyrie or two going, meow. Nope. Especially one that's English.
Yes, Papa Valkyrie was not impressed.
Oh, poor Colin. Oh, crap. Another series to watch? And King Arthur? So they're about to go to war with England then? Okay, here's the thing, Colin. Tune into our show on Wednesday. You may not need to watch Cursed because it was cursed. Believe me, from the get-go. Like I said, the only saving grace was Gustav Skarsgård. And we'll get more into that. Yeah, see? Oh, it's bad. Really, really bad. Yeah, so tune in for that. Oh, bye, Cobalt and Pudgy. Bye, Pudgy. Have a good day, sweetie. Take care of selling hot dogs. Put on your sunscreen. So, hun, let's wrap up today's show since we're getting up to the top of the hour and say goodbye to all these wonderful people.
Absolutely. So thank you everyone for joining us. Appreciate it. So have a great day, Cobalt and Pudgy, Generalissimo Jefe. Have a good afternoon, James Andrew Morrison and Colin P. Smith. Who else did we have? We had Jessie.
We had Soul Assassin and Jessie.
Our ladies, we had Lady Mist and Saucy Wench. Thank you, girls.
Yes, thank you very much. Mary was here earlier, as was Lori. So it wasn't such a sausage fest in there. Love you guys. And of course, always Colin, because he's our man with the knowledge. Him and Generalissimo Jefe.
Yep. Big thank you to Bill and Nina, Psychodwarf. But he had to go.
He had to go actually do some work. Jedi Bill and Nina.
Project Storytime.
Earlier. Project Storytime. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, you're a sweetheart. All you guys are sweethearts. So, Dave Bob. Can't miss our Dave Bob.
We love Dave Bob.
We love Dave Bob. He's our man in the street.
And Darth Monkey Oraf. Thank you, guys.
for keeping track of the snorts and the squirrels. And, of course, our wrench, Darth Haster. Thank you so much for all you do for us. We really, really appreciate it. So, on that note, guys, everyone have a fantastic Monday. And don't forget to always be good to each other. We love you all so very much. Thank you.
We do. Thank you, guys. Mwah.
Mwah. Bye, y'all. Have a great day. Bye.